Tableau. So you click on apply and OK. That what that does. So when I click on this, it unchecks that particular. So let's see the dashboard again. Okay, this format. We can format our dashboard. Clicking the format by using the format option here to format the dashboard. Now we have a lot of formatting here. Now this formatting, this dashboard shading, dashboard title. Now everything you do here only affects the title of the dashboard. The why this is for the sheet. The sheet, anything you do affects the sheet there. So that is what that um, dashboard format does. Then this is show title. We've already have the title here. To show title in your dashboard, click on this to show the title of your dashboard. That shows the title of your dashboard. That's the formatting we just did on that. If you want the shading, you click on this. It will create a shading on your dashboard. You want it white, you click on white. Then we have the alignment. Now this on the dashboard title. This dashboard title, same alignment you do only affects the title. Why this is better? Why this is your sheet? Worksheet type. We have how many worksheets you want to. So any formatting you do affects that worksheet title. This is gun violence here. So once I click on that, it only affects the worksheet title. That's what it does. So that is how that command works. So now this action, we have a lot of actions here on the dashboard. We'll click on this. We have the filter action, we have aligned action, go to, you have L action, go to. Now we can see the filter action. The filter action is used when you want to filter your sheet. For instance, let me remove this. Let me create another dashboard so we can see how the filter action works. Let me delete this. Okay, we are going to adjust this. Click on that. Now we've clicked on that. We bring in sheet 1, sheet 2. Now let's assume we have just these 2 sheets now. Go to the dashboard and click on action. Now we want to create an action. We go to, let's assume we want to create a filter action. Now one of filter action, this we have sheet 1, sheet 2. Now once we will select on a particular sheet, let's say on the particular sheet 1, and dashboard is sheet 2, want it to affect sheet 1 and sheet 2. Want it to affect both sheet 1 and sheet 2. Now the name of the filter, that's filter 1. To see the impact of my screen, now there is a button here to click on OK. There's a button at the bottom here. My laptop screen is too small. There's a button there to click on OK. So let me use my tab key and then click on OK. Now that's OK. Well, when I click on this, so now we say we want to filter through sheet 1 and sheet 2. Now I click on that, it's affecting this particular sheet now. So that is how the filter works. So I can click on this and create a filter on this particular sheet. Create a filter by location. So when I click on this, I select this on airport. I click on this. Now it's only affecting this particular sheet. Now that's how this filter works. Now if I want this filter to affect this other visualization, I'm going to click on this small arrow here and go to apply to all using this data source. Now that means it's going to apply every filter anything I click on this, it will apply to every visualization on your dashboard that is using the same data set. So I click on the, remember I created the filter. Now, we've already done with this. Click on this is affecting this. When I click on this, is affecting this. That's how the actual filter works and so on. So now I've created the filter here. I've created the filter here now, but this filter I've just created only affects this particular visualization. It's not affecting this particular visualization. But I want it to affect this other part of visualization. I'm going to click on this small arrow here and go to apply to worksheet. Now I want it to apply to all using this data source. I click on that. Now the moment I click on any of this, you can see I click on any of this affecting both visualization. So there's a lot of things we can do. There's a lot of things here we can work on your dashboard. So it can help you to work on your dashboard. Let's move on to something else. And this is a story. And just as I said, the story helps you create a story on your dashboard. It helps you to create a story. It helps you to create a story about your data set. Now let's go into the sheet one now proper. Now when we come into the sheet now, we have two tabs, the data tab and we have the analytics tab. Now under the analytics tab, depends on what is being displayed on this particular canvas that determines the summary of this. It will give you the summary, to give you the model, it will give you the custom. Then we have the data tab here, the data button here. Now you can see here displays the tables that are available. Now when I click on the other data source, it will shows me the tables that are available, the product table, the sales table, and okay, just the product table and the sales table, because those are the two tables that are selected in my from this particular data source. So those are the two tables that are available in the data source. Now these are the two tables now. Now this particular search box, you can use it to search your data set. For instance, you have for this gun violence in US, I click on that. Now you can see I have a lot of hidden fields. For instance, I want to see the injured field. You can use the search box to search just for the injured field there. That you brings up the field. That what the search box does, and this clears it off. Now this funnel able to filter. Want to filter by dimension. I'm coming to that. Why? Before we start creating visualization in Tableau, you have to also understand the concept of dimension and measure. Understand the concept of dimension, you understand the concept of measure, you have to understand the concept of discrete and continuous variable. Maybe this is where I'm going to stop now. So we have here also, you can also use this to view your data set in Tableau. It works similar with this. When we come to this, we click on this to view our data set. You can also view your data set in your worksheet. I can view this data set in my worksheet. Now, because I only have one table here, it only displays one table. And here I have up to two tables here. I click on that, it's going to display two tables. So I can click on either of them to view the data set. I've already spoken about this. And this is a key icon that shows analysis. Here to show fields. Now click on that. We want to select some field. We want to hide some field. For instance, customer key and due date key. If I don't want those keys to be displayed, now you can see those two keys are hidden. So that helps you to reduce your data set in order just to focus on the main data set you are interested in, you want to work with in Tableau. Now, that's what this one. Now we have tables here in Tableau. Now we have tables to tells you your product table and the sales table. Now, before you start creating visualization in Tableau, as I said earlier on, you need to understand the concept of um, discrete. You need to understand the concept of measures and the other concept you need to understand measures. You need to understand the concept of measures and dimension. discrete and continuous variable. Now, what are dimensions and what are measures? Now, dimension deals with categorical variable. For instance, gender. We have male, female. I use my data set now. I have category. Now, this is another data set. I have category. Now, in this particular gun violence data set, the location where gun violence occurs in the US, it occurs in military zone, it occurs in others, and it occurs in religious center. Now, these three places where gun violence occurred in US, all these other places they are called dimension. So dimension deals with categorical variables. The few that are categorical in nature. Why measures deals with aggregate variables. Variables that are aggregate, for instance, total profit, sales, or numerical variables. Normally, numerical variables are normally called measures in Tableau because you can add everything together to get an aggregate of them. So you understand the concept of dimension and understand the concept of measure. Now we now look at Tableau. Now you can see Tableau using blue color to represent the data set. Now we have already talked about the different types of data types. The hash represent numerical data type. The blue symbol represent the spatial data type that talks about location, and the and so on and so forth. But now we see some of the data sets are green. That you can see some are green. The blue symbol are green, while some are in blue color. That will tell you that Tableau is differentiating between the two data sets. One is a measure, the other is a dimension. The dimension is the one that is in green color. Now you can see when I placed it on this shelf here, you can see that the color, there's different color here. But in this particular case here, you can see my this is total victim here. But when you look at this place, total victim here is in green. That's the green. Is a major, but it's in green. And we have the we have the dimension here, which is in blue here. For instance, the location is in blue. Also, we have to understand the concept of continuous variables and then um, how to understand the concept of continuous variables and discrete variables. Now, let's talk about the measure first. Now, I have a measure. I drag and drop this on the row shell. Now, Tableau is giving me the total value of gun violence, the total number of victims of gun violence in US. Now, this is a measure. Now, if this measure, I want to see it, okay, this is the total number of victims in US now. I want to see the various places where gun violence occurred in US, whether in hospital, in religious center, whether in school, whether in military barracks, and so on and so forth. Now, these categorical variables are called a dimension. They are called dimension because they are different. They are the same data set, but you are looking at it from different angles. Now, I can click on this now. The location where gun violence occurred, I drag and drop here. Now you can see it's giving me the location where gun violence occurred in US. It's giving me the location where gun violence occurred in US. No, it's giving me the location where gun violence occurred in US. When we're working on this dashboard, there's some things okay fine. It affected the data set there. Now you can see all the location where the gun violence occurred in US. Now these are dimension. Now why I drag and drop on the row shelf, I drag and drop on the column shelf. Now you can see when I drag and drop on the row shelf, when I drag and drop the measure on the row shelf, look at what it gave to me. But when I drag and drop the dimension on the row shelf, the dimension, look at what it gives to me. Because dimensions are categorical in nature. It displays the various separate the information, but of three given separate information. Now you can see the way it's being displayed on this particular area of where you can put in your visualization. Now, because the way you place what you place on this shelf, the column shelf or the row shelf, will determine the type of visualization you are going to get. So I placed the dimension. Look at what I got. I decided to place this here. Um, this is a measure. I get this here. Now, so I have this here now. Now this separates this out now. Now this particular measure now, this particular dimension now, it could be now you can see this is dimension. I could change it to a measure. Now when I change this to a measure, what will be displayed here will be different. For instance, I drag and drop here, and I decided to change the location one to a measure, which is not um, I don't supposed to change it because it's talking about different measure. To change it to a measure doesn't really make sense because I won't be able to use that particular data set. I won't be able to use that particular data set to create a something. Now when I change it to a measure, it changes to a green pill to tell you that this has changed. Now it's no longer a dimension. Now look at what is being displayed now because I've changed that to a measure. Now when I change it back to a dimension, it will display this. Now also we need to understand the concept of continuous variable and discrete variable. Now this is already a continuous variable here. So when I click on discrete, and remember this is my total gun violence in US. Now let me remove this. You can see that it's just giving me the aggregate. Then when I click on this, I change this to a discrete. It gives me in form of a table. This is what will be displayed. Just give me once, just that in a table format. Then when I change it back to continuous, it displays this in the form of chart. Then I drag and drop this. Now this I've not changed this. Let me convert this back to dimension. When I drag and drop this here, I have this. Now, when I change this from a discrete continuous variable to a discrete variable, it gives me in form of a table, a chart, a table now. Now you can see the total victim of gun violence here. And it's giving for airport, military, orders, and so on, without just giving me the total. Because this total victim here is a measure. This is already a measure. You can see it's a measure. A measure gives you aggregate. It gives you aggregate. So it just brings up the aggregate here. It doesn't bring it in between inside there. It brings the aggregate there because it's a measure and it's not a dimension. Now when I change it to a dimension, you can see it gives me in form of a chart here. Why? Because this is already a measure. This is already in a dimension format. Then why this I change it to a dimension? Remember, dimension is categorical in nature. Now when I change it back to a measure, it gives me this. When I change it back to discrete, it brings up this in discrete. So if I want to see for each of this, all I need to do, I have to drag and drop here. Now it will start displaying for each of this. Now let me drop this back. Now I have this. This is already you can see that this I've already converted this to a dimension. This is already a dimension, and I've converted this also to a this is a measure but a discrete. But when I change it to continuous, it gives me in the form of a chart, a continuous. But when I change it to discrete, it gives me in the form of when I change this also back from dimension to a discrete, let's say this, you can see the chart you have. So before creating visualization in Tableau, you need to understand the concept of discrete, the concept of continuous. So whatever you place on the chart, you know what visualization is going to produce, what type of visualization you want to create. You know what type of visualization you want to create. That's the concept of visualization. So I'm going to wrap up with this. I'm going to stop here. Now we have the age. Now there's a lot of things you can do. You can show filter here. You can create a lot of things here. You can create hierarchy here. So let me just talk about a little bit of hierarchy. Now I'm looking at this gun violence in US by location. I could say I want to look at it by race. Now it's giving me for each race. This is the location. I could decide to swap it this way. Now I can have that for airports. For airport, the only race that carried out the gun violence in US is just the Latinos. So it gives me for each of them. So I could advise that do these people have prior sign of mental health issue also? And I keep on. If I don't want to do this, I can decide to create what we call hierarchy. That's where when I click on this particular data set here, you have a lot of things here. One of them is hierarchy. So I'm going to wrap up here. So to create an hierarchy, for instance, I have the location here. The next I want to create by race. I drag and drop here. I give that a name. Let me call that hierarchy. Click on OK. Then I go to that. I want the prior sign of mental health issue. I already have an hierarchy here. I can drag and drop here. So instead of using this here, when I click on this, it collapses that. When I click on this, it expands. When I click on this, it totally collapses all this. Now instead of using this, I drag and drop this. I decided to use this hierarchy here. So if I want to create and see more details, I click on the plus sign. It will expand that. Click on the plus sign, it expands that. If I want to collapse it, I can decide to collapse it from here, or I can decide to collapse it from there to see individual visualization. This is where we are going to stop today. This is where we are going to stop today. So, any question before I go? Okay. So there's no question. So we'll be having a training. The training is coming up on Tableau. We're going to go into details in this particular training on Tableau. And no, if this training, when we want to do this training offline, we do this training offline, 85,000 naira offline, that's physical. Why online we do it for 65,000 naira. But this particular, anytime we do free training as this, want to do, the moment we do free training, we slash down the price. We slash down the price so that people will be able to join for the training. So many people will be able to enroll for the training. So I'm going to post. I'm going to post the banner there. I'm going to post the MB on the WhatsApp group and things about the training. If you are interested in the training, you can enroll for the training. But it will be very not that costly. So I'm going to enroll. The training will be for 3 weeks. It will be a 3 weeks training. Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. We are going to go quickly on that. So you can enroll if you want to enroll for that. Thank you for watching and good night.